Blessings, kings and queens. Today is September 4th, 2023. Our subject for the day is Gate 64, Divine Transference. Before completion, the gate of confusion. Listen, you don't want to go anywhere because I'm about to drop some gems, some knowledge, some wisdom, so stay tuned to the end. Guys, I've got 9 key points that I want to discuss with you in this video. Number 1, the head center. Since this is the first time that we have explored a gate in this center, I want to deep dive into its characteristics. Number 2, how the head center corresponds to Kether in the Kabbalistic tree of life. Number 3, how the head center corresponds to the Crown Chakra in the Hindu chakra system. Number 4, Gate 64. What is it? Number 5, our challenge for the week while we collectively experience Gate 64's energy. Number 6, our journal questions. Write them down, meditate on them, take a walk with them, or even discuss them with your friends. Number 7, affirmation to help empower us, deepen our faith, and trust in ourselves while navigating this energy. Number 8, our emotional freedom technique. This helps to break habitual programming that has been placed on us by society's conditioning. Number 9, I've got a bonus for you guys that you don't want to miss, so stay tuned to the end. Listen, I'm looking for my people. I'm looking for my tribe. I'm looking for those like-minded individuals who are on what I'm on. And since you've made it here to this video, that means you're on what I'm on. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell so you won't miss any of our future human design exploration study videos. Before we deep dive, I want you guys to grab your charts, grab your journals, grab your blankets, grab a cup of tea or a beverage of your choice. If you don't have your body graph, I've listed a couple of websites that you could go to get it for free. So right now, if you're looking at your body graph and you're saying, I don't have Gate 64 defined in my chart, that is okay, because for the next 5 days, Gate 64's energy is available to us because we are in transition of it. Otherwise, the way to get this energy would be to come into someone's aura who has this gate defined. Then you're probably looking at your charts and you're saying to me, Faith, I have no idea who has Gate 64 defined in their charts. The way that you'd be able to come into a person's aura with Gate 64's energy defined in their charts is to go to a public place, like a mall food court, a library, a gym, or any place of that nature. And then possibly someone with Gate 64 defined could come into your aura. The head center is biologically associated with our pineal gland. It regulates the gray areas of the brain and the neocortex. Most of our mental processes happen in the gray area of our minds. This is below the level of our conscious awareness. So everything is accumulated through our past experiences. This is the pressure that you feel as questions seeking answers or the need to know. This is the fuel that drives our thinking. As above, so below. The head center is the pressure at the top, and the root center is the pressure at the bottom, experienced and understood as stress. These questions that form in the head center are then filtered through the Ajna center. The Ajna center turns our questions into formulas and opinions. Here, we gain insight and clarification. Then that pressure is filtered through the throat center, where it is formed into language. Human design refers to this pressure as inspiration, the way we take in information from the collective mind or the cosmic field of consciousness. This is the stimulation of imagination. This is what initiates our mundane thoughts and lofty questions about the mysteries of existence. These thoughts are comprised of three main issues: our future, gate 63, what's new in the moment, gate 61, and past experiences, gate 64. Sometimes the not self controls our thinking and causes us to think about things that don't matter. This brings us doubt and confusion, and it drives us away from our authentic selves. If there is no release of this pressure, then we can develop migraine headaches. The pressure, good or bad, must be let go of or resolved. Otherwise, it can nag at us until death. Those of us with defined head centers suffer the anxiety of inspiration. These people have a fixed way of thinking. They can pressure people with undefined head centers to think. These people only make up 30% of the population. Since the head center is not a connected motor, oftentimes these people become frustrated because they do not have the ability to put their inspirations or ideas out into the world. If they do so without consulting their strategy, their ideas are rejected by others, and people will feel projected on or imposed on. If these people become impatient with their thoughts, they can suffer severe depression. The trick is to sit with your thoughts and accept them until the right time to use them presents itself. People with undefined head centers have no constant way of thinking. They normally think about things that don't matter. They usually get lost in thought. Allowing the not self to take control of their minds and steer them away from their correct decision-making process. They usually get caught up in trying to solve the problems of others that are not their own, taking on the doubt and confusion that belongs to someone else. The trick to maintaining mental health is to refuse to act out of mental pressure by remaining a detached observer of their thoughts and letting their authority dictate the way to use their minds. These people should use their minds for wonder and exploring. They should use their minds as a source of possibilities. They can use their minds by taking in information that they gather from others as a reflection of what other people are thinking, and use these thoughts for humanity. Enjoy the pressure to know without becoming identified with the thought. Let confusion pass, because it will. Know that things will become clear or not. It is what it is or isn't, and be satisfied with that. This group makes up the majority of society. People with completely open head centers do not know what to think at all, but they can discern who is using their minds correctly and effectively. They are open enough to know what others are thinking. They often avoid intellectual conversations and often rely on others to tell them what is interesting or worth thinking about at all. They should also rely on their authority when making decisions, along with letting confusing thoughts pass through them. Notice not self-talk. This is essential to deconditioning. Not self-talk will pressure you to find the answer from others, seek inspiration, seek places to find answers. Seek to understand. Seek to make sense. Seek out the interesting. And seek for things to think about. Listen, I am not an expert by any means. I am an initiate, just like y'all. So while y'all are studying with me, I'm studying with y'all. So if any part of this study resonates with you, let me get a high five or a thumbs up down in the comments. Let me know that you're here. Kether is the first sephiroth on the tree of life. It is the crown, the creator, all that is and all that is not. The first motion, Kether is Metatron, he who brings others before the face of God. Kether transcends language. It cannot be known. It can only be known or explained in symbols. Here is where the symbols of the crown, the point, the swastika, and the profile of the white-bearded king seen from the white side only originate. Kether is an idea. Kether is our essential spirit. It is the crown of creation, but it is also that from which all creation springs. This is where manifestation begins and ends. Malkuth is Kether on its lowest end. Again, this is where we find the term as above, so below. I'm corrected here from saying that the earth is evil, which is Malkuth. Evil is just an unbalance of an extreme. All Sahasrara, all things have a unbalanced element to it. Evil is just a byproduct of evolution. The energy that is expelled when creating itself from one form to another. A collateral damage, if you will. It is in us all, good and bad. They are viewed here as no one is better than the other. They are both found in the mind of the all, the first of the 7 Hermetic principles. The principle of mentalism says, all is mind. The universe is mental. Here we find the concept that we are in the mind of the all. The Bhagavad Gita tells us that the personality is literally at war with itself until the battle is won through a higher self and peace is restored. The Bible in Romans chapter 7, specifically the 23rd verse, the Apostle Paul says, I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, bringing me into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members. He says in earlier verses that evil is always present with me until he's saved by Christ Jesus. As Kether symbolizes eternity, it's also, again, a mystery that we cannot describe, which is why returning to source or eternity is to cease to know or exist in form. One can only exist as pure energy. We try to describe God, but fall short because our minds and language have no words or description to it. Infinite is in fact a human concept. So the question still remains. In my mind as does all, did we create God or did God create us? Perhaps the answer is yes and no. There is a great degree of faith required here, and an open mind that asks questions until we finally find the answers. The aces of the tarot are assigned to Kether. They represent the most purest form of energy. When the aces appear, it stands for great power. The Ace of Wands represents the primary spark of energy in the universe. The Kether of Absoluth, the influence of pure spirit. Illustrated are the Tree of Life with flaming yods. The Ace of Cups represents the root of the powers of water. Kether and Bria influence on the mental world. Illustrated is the cup emerging from a lotus with water being forced out. This is the emergence of the church or the Holy Mother. The Ace of Swords is the root of the powers of air. Kether and Yetzirah. The influence of Kether in the astral world. This card can mean extreme good or evil. This force must be called out. It is illustrated as a sword held in the air, passing through the crown of Kether. The Ace of Pentacles, root of the power of the earth. Kether and its sire represents its influence in the material world. It's not a card of wealth, but it can represent good or evil. Illustrated in the card are the wings of the four angels. These powers serve to balance one another and create stability. Sahasrara, the seventh wheel at the top of the Hindu chakra system. The Crown Chakra. We continue with the theme of rebirth. Sahasrara means thousandfold. The 1,000 white lotuses surrounding this illustration signifies infinity. This is the highest state of consciousness. This is enlightenment, self-realization, fulfillment of the divine self. This is linked to infinity and the boundless restrictiveness of cosmic energy. This is the awakened bliss of the goddess Kundalini. This opened chakra will bring about a magnetic personality and help you achieve miracles in life. This is a transcendence to being at peace with oneself. However, a blocked wheel will leave you constantly exhausted, with no sense of belonging, leaving you unable to make decisions. When this chakra is too open, you will have characteristics of manic depression, psychosis, sexual confusion, frustration, and with an unrealized sense of power. The ruling planet here is Uranus. The colors are violet, gold, and white. The archetypes of this chakra is the guru and the egoist. The guru has an expansive outlook on life. They may take one day at a time or one project at a time, but the main takeaway for them is that these things have endless possibilities. They are open and embrace the unexpected. They realize how little they actually know and trust in the connection to the divine and know that the higher self will always lead them on the right path to a realization that even the human mind cannot fathom. They live in an inner calmness that accepts their own personal limitations and have an awareness that all things are possible. The egocentric are the control junkies. They have no awareness or relationship with the divine. They usually develop this sense of control in midlife when failing to find deep meaning and purpose. A common expression of the egoist is, I make my own luck, because of their illusion of control over the material world. The lesson that should be learned by the egoist is detachment from outcomes. Incense and oils to have at your altar are clear quartz, amethyst, diamond, white jade, white tourmaline, snowy quartz, and the Herkimer diamond. A good yoga pose is the headstand. If you've made it this far, then that means you're feeling me. So let me get that high five, that thumbs up, or that heart down in the comments. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave me one there. If you leave me a comment in the first 3 days of the premiere of this video, I'll make sure to answer you right away. We only have a few more points to go, so hang in there with me. Remember, we've got a bonus at the end. Gate 64 can be found in the head center, on the outer left of the 3 of the head center gates. This gate's archetypical name is the Imagination Station. This gate uses creativity to transcend confusion and achieve illumination. We do this by letting a stream of thoughts pass through us, to let them transition like a birth until form is realized. This requires determined strength, a conscious effort. This gate lives in the land of possibilities. Potential is only limited by your own imagination. Don't fall into the not self of this gate and put pressure on yourself to always figure out things in the moment of confusion. This will leave you stuck on the how rather than focusing on the next step to move forward. Pay attention to your dreams and realize that things just don't happen to you. You have to take accountability of the place or the positions that you put yourself in. If you find yourself in a why me state, consider setting stronger boundaries and remove yourself from negative patterns and thought processes. Confusion clouds the heart, but it also points the way. Do not shame yourself for being confused. Embrace it. Confusion is not meant to be right or wrong. It is just an awareness. As I stated previously, I do not have gate 64 or the head center defined in my chart. I've always been very skinny. One of my goals in life was always to put on and maintain a healthy weight. My dream was to look like the typical divine feminine. I always wanted a curvy, hippie backside. I always thought I looked a little boyish. I always figured that my size had something to do why I was always unlucky in love. So I worked out most of my life with the goal of putting on muscle. So when I was getting close to my 40th birthday, I had set a goal to be 160 pounds of muscle. I'm tall, right? So I can get away with that. I was going to take pictures and post them on social media with my goal weight fully achieved. I worked all year on a strict diet and a workout routine that I never missed. However, when my 40th arrived, I wasn't even close to my goal. In fact, I was smaller than what I was when I originally set the goal. I was so confused and devastated. I just couldn't figure out why I failed. In my confusion, I fell into a deep depression that rendered me helpless to even keep up with my workout routine at all. But speaking with my dad one day about it, he encouraged me and told me that I shouldn't even worry about it and that it would eventually come. So I finally put the notion aside and started to take steps to reach other goals. I began to work out again and eat healthy again, but this time only for the joy of it. I decided to use it as a stress reliever instead and started calling the gym my sanctuary. Upon arrival of my 42nd birthday, newly single, I decided that I'd try again and give myself with professional pictures. When I received the pictures, I saw the weight in the curves that I had so desperately tried to achieve all of my life and 2 years prior. I stepped on the scale and noticed that I was actually 5 pounds over my goal weight. And I was headed to my ultimate goal weight. I was so happy, y'all. I adopted the affirmation that says, when I take my attention away, that's when the answer comes. All I had to do was trust in the possibility instead of drowning in the confusion. It's always the darkest before dawn. Just put one foot in front of the other. The how will reveal itself at the end. We are challenged this week to not let the power of our big ideas overwhelm us and shut down our dreaming and creating. To not get lost in the pressure of answering the how question. Let's go ahead and write down our journal questions so we can think on, meditate, and discuss them this week. What do I do to take care of my big ideas? How do I feel about having dreams but not always solutions? How can I stop judging the gift of my dreams? Do I trust that the how My ideas will be revealed. How can I deepen this trust? Follow along in the transcript and affirm with me. I am a conduit for expansive thinking. My inspirations and ideas create the seeds of possibility in my mind and in the mind of others. I honor the dreams that pass through my mind and allow my big ideas to stimulate my imagination and the imagination of others. I trust the universe to reveal the details of my dreams to stimulate a world of possibility and expansion. So we have 2 emotional freedom techniques this week, and they go a little something like this. Even though I don't know what's next, I wait and trust that the perfect right step will show up for me, and I deeply love and accept myself. And secondly, even though I feel overwhelmed with ideas, I trust the universe to reveal the next step to me. I relax and wait, and I deeply love and accept myself. So you've made it to the bonus this week, guys. Earth is passing through gate 63. Curiosity. What needs to happen to release your attachment to being right and allow yourself to dream of other possibilities? What if there is more than what you can see right now? Let's remember to treat our bodies well, because if we treat our bodies well, our bodies will take care of us. Let's remember to drink 8 glasses of water every day. Let's remember to journal every day, in the morning when we wake up or at night before we go to bed. Let's remember to exercise at least twice a week. Kings and queens, I really appreciate you for joining me on this exploration of human design and the gate of confusion. Listen, you could have chosen to be anywhere else in the world. You could have chosen to do anything else in the world. But you chose to spend your time with me on this video. And believe me, that choice does not go unnoticed. I thank you. Remember to do your own thing. Remember to be your authentic selves. And for those of you who are doing their own thing and being their authentic selves, thank you for being you.
Crown me king, you can crown me lord of anything. But one thing you better know about me, watch me act a fool about me.